He saw the best in me when everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Marvin, I'm part of the everyone right now. Thank God I'm not Jesus and don't have to see the best in everybody. I try. But Marvin, Pastor Marvin Sapp, award-winning gospel artist Marvin Sapp, BET Award, Dove, BET Award Show, Dove Award Show. People that know what the Dove Awards is. Marvin Sapp. What is going on? For those of y'all that don't know, what I sang is, or what I attempted to sing is one of Marvin's songs. He said, God saw the best in him when everyone else around saw the worst in him. Marvin, ooh, there's a lot of everyone's right now. What were you doing? Hey, y'all, this is Taria. Welcome to another What Else is Going On podcast, aka YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. Let's get right into it. I made this video last night and went to post it last night. And I had added some extra stuff in that I'm actually going to put in a separate video after this. And I'm copyright content. I said, I'm done. So I didn't make it. So I wanted to come talk to y'all about Marvin last night, because yesterday morning when I woke up in my family group chat, so I have a family group chat with my husband, Corey Jr., my son, my oldest, and my youngest, right? So we're all in a family group chat. I love it, being in a family group chat with young adults. My oldest is 20, just turned 28 the beginning of March. My son just turned 23 in January, just graduated from college last year. I'm from a college in California. And my youngest is in her third year. She's a junior at Syracuse University. She's 20, going to be 21 in May, right? So I love being in a group chat, but they may be fun. So my daughter sends a group chat, my youngest. This is yesterday morning, because I couldn't wait. I wanted to talk to y'all about this. Again, made the video yesterday evening and YouTube. So I didn't know what was going on, right? She said, did y'all see that Marvin Sapp locked the doors of his church and told the congregation to give $20 each and the people on the pulpit to give $100 each? So I said, now wait a minute. Then it took me a minute. I thought she meant he said, we not having service till, like, I thought it was his church. And he was like, we not having service in the church anymore until y'all give virtually, right? And that's what I thought had happened. Then I realized, no, he shut the doors of the church while the people were in there. So I said, I just realized that he locked them in the church. I was thinking he locked them out and said they wouldn't have. I just heard a beep twice. I know my fire alarm is not get ready to beep throughout this video. If so, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm so annoyed. I thought I heard something earlier and was like, what's that? Get that changed. But anyway, so I said I didn't know that he had them in. Let's watch, or let's listen to what he has to say. He also has addressed it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to show it because they didn't copyright this, but just to be on the safe side, child. Actually, I am going to show it. It's the neighborhood talk. Hold on, y'all. And then we'll read his response together, even though it's on here. Let's start it over so we can
understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors.
They closed them doors.
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, When my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box, and they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
All right, so y'all heard that, right? I'm actually gonna read because his let me see, do they have all of it? Yes, they do. Okay. So we see here what happened, right? And I will say this, I initially said locked. I don't know if he locked them or not. I'm thinking maybe the sanctuary doors were open. You know, sometimes they have them open and then they decided to close the door. Let's get into what he said. Let's add context to the clip on social media. Recently, a clip has gone viral of me challenging 2,000 individuals, virtually and in person, to plant a seed of $20 during an international gathering held at a convention center with over 4,000 people in attendance that evening, plus virtual viewers. In that same moment, I also challenged leadership to lead by example by sowing $100. That evening, I personally gave much more. Some have taken issue with a particular moment when I instructed the ushers rather firmly to close the doors during the offering. To those unfamiliar with the church context or who may not regularly attend worship gatherings, this has been misinterpreted as holding people hostage as well as offensive. That was never my intent. Side note, I'm going to add, I will say that when I have gone to church, they don't like people walking during offerings. So they want you to either go right before, if you got to go to the bathroom, or right after. So I will say that. But the way maybe he was at a different church, because I would think if it was at, well, he said he was at a convention, people would know that. Or maybe he could have said it. There is a different way, I believe, that he could have asked them to not go in or out during the offering. If you got to go, can you go right now? We're getting ready to do offering. There is a way to do things. So he said, to continue with what he said, the truth is when finances are being received in any worship gathering, it is one of the most vulnerable and exposed times for both the finance and security teams. Movement during this sacred exchange can be distracting and at times even risky. My directive was not about control. It was about creating a safe, focused, and reverent environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources. Unfortunately, in this social media age, snippets are easily shared without context and assumptions are quickly made without understanding the full picture. Conferences have budgets, churches have budgets, and people have budgets. As the assigned ministerial gift for this international gathering, one of my responsibilities was to help raise the conference budget. That's not manipulation, it's stewardship. I'm going to pause on his reading again. I understand that. Well, I'm not even going to say I understand that. I know when I've been at churches, when you know they're calling a big preacher and you automatically know they're going to ask for even more money to raise money for something. It's sometimes the way they ask can seem like manipulation. I'm going to give y'all a quick example. We're going to get back into his statement. My husband will say, like, we'll go to, like, if you go into a church and they'll say, I need 10 people to give me $100. And God said for these 10 people that give me this $100, within 7 days, what you've been praying for is going to be answered. That thing on your heart is going to be answered. So you don't get the 10 people. So then you say, you only get 4, right? So you say, I need six people to give $20. We got to reach this goal. I need 6 people to give $20. And then you don't get those 6 people, you get 3. So then you say the rest of, if you, whatever you can bring helps, whatever you can bring helps. So for people that couldn't give the 100, but wanted to give out of their heart, maybe 10, do they not get the same blessing that the other folks got? Like, because sometimes it can feel like an auction. It can. For me, the Bible also says God loves a cheerful giver. And I do feel like sometimes these churches will browbeat you into giving more, giving more, giving more. Anyway, he continues. Unfortunately, in this, oh yeah, I read that. It's not manipulation, it's stewardship. Now, allow me to give some biblical context, not opinion, not tradition, but scripture. In First Chronicles 29, we find a powerful moment where David, preparing for the building of the temple, challenges the people to give. It's a scripture that he reads. He says, "So yes, you saw a moment, but I invite you to understand the movement behind it. I felt it was necessary to provide context to the clip, and I hope you'll share this explanation with the same passion and speed that the original clip was shared. Honor, clarity, and truth are what I owe the people, and I'll always provide that." I'm gonna go back and just to be fair, and the scripture that he shared was in First Chronicles 29. We find a powerful moment where David, preparing for the building of the temple, challenges the people to give. He starts by giving his own treasure over and above what he had already set aside. Then he calls on the leaders to do the same. What happened next? The people gave willingly and generously. In fact, they gave so much that a record was kept of each gift, and ultimately David had to tell people to stop giving because the need had been exceeded. The Bible says they gave gold, silver, bronze, iron, and precious stones. Specific amounts were recorded not because God needed their money, but because the people needed to show their commitment to the vision and because stewardship demands accountability. But when someone challenges people to give a specific amount, it is not unbiblical. It is not manipulation. It is in order. It is consistent with scripture. But here's the tension. People's traditions often conflict with biblical truth. That's why Jesus himself said the traditions of men make the world of God no effect. I'm going to tell you this. I get what he's saying about providing something without context. However, I do believe again that he could have said at that moment, we need y'all. All of a sudden, you want to be, I'm sorry, y'all. Again, he could have asked them not to move, not to walk. Y'all, this is a special offering because, this is a special offering I want to raise for whatever. We need to raise X amount of money. I'm going to ask that there be no walking in the church. If y'all need to go to the restroom or leave or whatever, I would ask you, let's give them a few moments to do it now, right? Also, with the shut the doors, y'all ain't going nowhere but to lunch, shut the doors. I do believe that automatically puts people in, like, it could automatically put somebody in a mood like, wait a minute, what's going on? You know? Um, I still think there's a better way he could have gone about it if he wanted to raise that money, because it was like you're asking someone to give something. And what if they didn't have $20? What if they had 10, 5? I just think that there was a better way that he could have went about that. So I'm gonna say, Marvin, I'm not gonna see the worst in you, but what it looked like could have been. In the words of Jamie, that's me, just a little piece. But it definitely the spirit in which, to me, it was asked and the directive to me seemed off for me. And I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. I used to attend church regularly. Then when C-19 happened, I stopped going, and I've been back to different churches a couple of times, but I haven't like been back. But so yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Now that you've heard his description, does that make you like I'm not hearing him give context? Does that make y'all feel any differently? Let me know. Next up, let's get into, this is something else that I had talked to y'all about last night within the video. Let's get into Andy talking about Garcelle leaving. I ain't showing nothing because they be wanting to shut everything down. I mean,
serious conversation before she was on Watch What Happens Live. Oh. She had a reunion that you will see play out. And I'm not gonna, you'll just watch it. But she didn't, it was not, she ended in a not good place. And she and I were texting and she kept saying, I will speak to you in New York. And so we got together about an hour before her live show. Oh, and she and I really hashed things out. And she let me into where, her head was at. And there was not only stuff with the show, but you know, she's got the kids are entering their senior year.
Yeah.
And I really respect the fact that she really it was a very real, it was one of the most real conversations that that it ended where it ended. But I would say it ended with her saying, I'm gonna choose kind of my life. Love. And I love it too. And that's why also I was like, look, call us in a year, by the way, if you feel like it, and see where you're at. We had a serious conversation before she was on Watch What Happens Live.
In the comments, shout out to C. Diggy. He said that was a lot of words to say a whole lot of nothing. Yet they make fun of Dorit for being long-winded. LOL. So clearly, I said it in the video that I spoke about this on Tuesday. Clearly, Garcelle knew that she was leaving when she went on Watch What Happens Live. Well, they had already known because the reunion had been taped, right? So they knew that. Do y'all see Garcelle coming back in a year or two? I don't know. I'll tell you this. When her video that I watched, her announcing that she was leaving, she seemed so light. Like there was like a spirit about her, like even her look, everything just seemed so light. And I actually smiled because I was happy for her. This audio, by the way, is from the Bravo Snark side. It seemed like a lightness about, I don't know. I just felt like, and then she posted a picture, I seen it on Threads yesterday. She was like celebrating my BFF's book and she was looking really good. So shout out to Garcelle. I'm glad that she had a conversation with him. I wonder if Andy put his statement out because of the amount of outpouring of support that Garcelle has gotten, and that people have mentioned some racial type things. Look, I said it in that video that I did. I don't always agree with Garcelle. And I said I feel very protective over our Black housewives when they're put in these situations where they're the only one. And it seems like they're being iced out. And the initial reason for the icing out may not be because they are Black. We already know what it feels like to be iced out when you are a Black or a person of color. You already know what that's like, right? And then some of the castmates, the way they responded to her, as well as the viewers, because I'm going to tell you, some of the comments that I see regarding Garcelle, slips are showing. Like, okay, I see you. And I don't mean people critiquing her the way they would critique other housewives. The people that know, the people that have seen them, we know, we see it. So I'm glad that Garcelle, like I said, she just seems to be lighter. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think she will come back in a year? I just want to see her continue to succeed and just keep flying above all of it. I really, really do. So shout out to Garcelle. I remember I had listened to some episodes of her podcast in bed with Garcelle. She was really good. She really was. So shout out to Garcelle. Speaking of, let's get into the Beverly Hills after show and Dorit. This is according to the reality blurb. So Dorit had a lot to say. She said Garcelle really did not like Sutton at all. And she would kind of poke at her. Sutton rubbed Garcelle the wrong way, and Sutton wasn't having that. She wanted Garcelle's affection. After Garcelle invited Sutton to a fundraiser for Haiti, Dorit pointed to the donation their castmate made to her cause, as she noted the way their friendship started to bloom. Sutton came and bought a $25,000 plate, and then Garcelle was at Sutton's for New Year's Eve not long after, and they became friends. I think Sutton counts on her wallet to get what she wants rather than using charm, a heart, compassion, care, doing things that would earn a real friendship. Then after admitting that when Sutton has to be genuine and caring, she will. Dorit signaled her co-star's deflections in St. Lucia. B, if you can dish it, you better effing be able to take it. Don't start with me. Just this insane reaction, the storming out, the not showing up, every kind of deflection possible. I'm tired of it. I say this. Y'all know I don't be giving Sutton her ones and twos. Just giving them to her. However, when I agree with her or something or see her side of things, I can say that. And I'm going to say this. They gave no space for Sutton or Garcelle in their little Fox Force 5. Even if there was some, because sometimes with a big group of women, people, there are some that are closer to each other than others, but they made it evident, obvious that they were not inclusive. That the Fox Force 5 was the show and the others were just, supporting players. I feel like they didn't try to get to know Garcelle or Sutton. So I do believe that Garcelle and Sutton's friendship started as an alliance, but then gradually grew into a real friendship. I do believe that. We don't know where it is going to be now after Garcelle started speaking on things that I believe she saw long before this season. But she didn't want to be the only one by herself. I get that. And she liked Sutton. So I do believe that Garcelle saw that Sutton was not going to have her back. But she also appreciated Sutton being a good friend to her in other ways, right? So the Fox Force 5 gave no space, no inch for Garcelle or Sutton to be friends. So they only had each other. As far as if Garcelle could very well not have liked Sutton. Let's think about Erica and Dorit didn't start off on the best foot. Dorit gave that lady some panties because her husband, PK, had allegedly seen up her dress. I say allegedly and then wanted to talk about it. So y'all didn't start out on the best foot, but y'all came together. Garcelle and Sutton found themselves on the outs with the group, and guess what? They formed a friendship. And as far as Sutton buying a $25,000 table, good for her for supporting an event that was important to Garcelle. Again, it was a fundraiser for Haiti. You know how far $25,000 could go? So good for Sutton, even if she did it to gain Garcelle's affections. I want to be cool with you just that much that I'm going to go ahead and donate this money to a place that needs it. Good for her. And then again, she said that Garcelle was at Sutton's New Year's Eve not long after, and they became friends. Those are your words. So why are you talking about this now? I don't know. That annoyed me. However, it will be interesting I'm not even going to say interesting. I don't even know if we will know. I wonder if Sutton and Garcelle are going to stay as close now that Garcelle is not on the show. And now that again, I do believe she saw Sutton wasn't really going to have her back like she had Sutton's, but she actually spoke it on the show. Because again, normally Garcelle had Sutton's back, but she actually spoke it on the show, which can change things, right? Word on the street is Sutton did not go after Garcelle when Garcelle walked off the reunion. Now, I don't know if she walked off and left the reunion early, or that probably to me, I feel like that was at the end. They were done. And instead of taking the picture, she walked off. Sutton didn't go after her. Remember when Sutton left the reunion early last year? Garcelle went with her in the ambulance to the hospital. Anyway, I wonder if now that Garcelle is off the show, will the friendship continue because Sutton feels like, oh, I can be there for you because I don't have to defend you against the person whose friendship I really, really want also, meaning Kyle? Or will the friendship just kind of dissolve on its own? And I said that we'll never know, but if Garcelle is in an interview, I can guarantee if she's asked about it, she'll probably answer it because has not been shy about speaking up and, what's on her mind, whatever, what's on her heart, answering questions. So I don't want to say it'll be interesting, but I do want to know how the friendship is going to go down. I wonder was there a conversation in private after she quit. Would the Sutton call her? Like, what was that like? And is Sutton home throwing him back? Nervous. We shall see. Y'all think they'll make Jennifer Tilly a full-time to be Sutton's friend, or you think she'll stay part-time? Would y'all want to see her full-time, or do you like her right in the role that she's in? All right, last thing. Let's get an update with Louis and Teresa. So we talked earlier this week about Louis being hit with a tax debt, and then Teresa being hit with a tax debt. Teresa's is 300 some thousand. Louis had $100,000 one and then a $2 million one, right? So let's get an update. According to Reality Blurb, Teresa Giudice's husband, Louis Ruelas, asked for extension to pay back $1 million loan, requests additional $250,000 loan as RHO&J stars face $3 million in tax liens. Whew, so let's see. After he obtained a loan in an effort to pay the $3.4 million mansion he and Teresa purchased in Montville, New Jersey in 2021, him and his wife were hit with a combined $3 million in taxes. Lewis requested not only an extension to pay, but also an additional $250,000 from his lender. According to a report from the U.S. Sun on March 25th, a mortgage modification was filed in New Jersey earlier this week. The borrower has requested and the lender has agreed to extend the maturity date of the initial loan from March 25th, 2025 to March 25th, 2026, court papers read. The lender is lending to borrower an additional loan in the principal sum of $250,000, and borrower has executed and delivered to lender a mortgage note for the principal sum of $250,500. While Lewis was supposed to pay off the $1 million to a Florida lender by March 25th, 2025, he now has more than a year to do so. During the extended term of the loan, the borrower shall continue to make payments on the account of interest only as set forth in the initial note on the first day of each month until March 25th, 2026, on which date the unpaid principal balance, together with accrued interest and all other sums due from the borrower to the lender under the note and loan documents, shall become immediately due and payable. The modification also confirmed that Lewis agreed to a $5,000 loan fee. So Teresa's tax lien was $303,889.20. Lewis, and that was December 12th, 2024. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Teresa's $303,889.20 was on March 20th, placed on March 20th. Louis had one for $163,523.94. That was December 12th, 2024. Then months later, on March 6th, his other tax lien was $2,569,842.06, bringing the couple's total to $3,037,255.20. Teresa, let's get into, we've all talked about it, right? Over and over again. Wait a minute, y'all. Corey wants to know what's for dinner. And I'm gonna let him know I'm eating potatoes. Don't judge me. What, y'all? He gonna send me a text. What? I'm eating potatoes for dinner. I can eat potatoes. I already got them. Girl, he gonna be like, girl, what? Child. Okay. Lord, why can't I text like the teenagers? They be sending them out a mile a minute. Child, and it then picked up on me saying teenagers. He gonna be like, what are you talking about? All right, so we're not the only ones. We've all talked about Teresa, right? Her with Louis. We've been talking about it since the beginning of time. Her castmates have been talking about it. Let's get into what Miss Frankel had to say about it. This was on her TikTok.
I cannot believe that Teresa is in another marriage with financial, legal issues. I have to pull when I tweeted if Teresa Giudice does not sign a prenup, I will jump through my phone. I remember, and this was picked up everywhere. I was so like secondhand.
I'm pausing this to say, and remember, she did not sign a prenup. Not only that, but in my video that I initially did about Teresa and Luis a couple days ago, she said she did not look into his finances, his income.
Just like, please, like you're watching the movie and you're like, no, do not open that closet. And I feel terrible, but like, fool me once, you're a fool. Fool me twice, I'm a fool. Like, love is blind, all of these things, but oh my God. I mean, there's never been a worse picker in the history of pickers than myself, besides Teresa Giudice.
All right, y'all heard that? Well, Dolo to the rescue. Dolores said, no, you won't. This is also on Reality Blurb. Oh, child, hey, Millie. I'm gonna have to text her and be like, girl, your voice gonna come up in the video because she was next up on because I played that from you. I played Bethenny from YouTube because page 6 had it. Let's get into what Dolo had to say. Child. She said, hold on. It was real quick. So Dolores has been on 2 T's in a Pod with Tamra. And 1 second. She said, she's actually to me a dumpster fire. She's a broken girl. I don't remember her because she's rememberable. I remember her because I'm an empath and I felt her ish energy. Can we read that sentence one more time? Dolores said, she's actually to me dumpster fire. Remember when she called Danielle scumbag? She said, she's actually to me dumpster fire. She's a broken girl. I don't remember her because she's rememberable. I remember her because I'm an empath and I felt her ish energy. Dolores probably meant I don't remember her because she's memorable, but I get it. Then she said, if it's so ish, stop talking about it. Referring to Bethenny's recent claims about mistreatment within the franchise. She won't have one day in her. She wouldn't have one day in her. Oh, I get it. Okay. So she was basically saying, you know how Bethenny's always talking about housewives and reality TV and Bravo. So Dolores is like, if it's so ish, stop talking about it. She wouldn't have one day in her on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So she's saying Bethenny wouldn't be able to survive not one day. Child, Jen Fessler came to the front and posted on Instagram and said, I was just scrolling. I heard that woman that makes the margaritas say that the Jersey Housewives is a trash bin of a show and people only go on if they're broke. And once they get somewhere, they get off it. And it pissed me off. First of all, P.S. I wasn't broke. I don't think any of the women were broke that went on it. It afforded me opportunities, yes, and it was an incredible adventure. But also, I'm sorry you think that New York Housewives was so classy and New Jersey is so trashy. But honey, they're not that different. And the first time you went on, you might have been broke. But from what I remember, the second time you had made a lot of margaritas and you went back on it. Give me a break. That woman is nasty. Then she posted, drink girl is so insufferable, always trying so hard. She never shuts up, ever. Okay, Jen. Jennifer said, I'm going to give you a little bit of read, honey. Yeah, so Dolores is defending that she don't see it for Bethenny. She said, if housewives are so bad, why'd you always talking? You couldn't even survive a day in Jersey. Jen Fessler said, you always talking. The girl that makes drinks won't shut up. Bethenny gets on my nerves, so I am going to say that. But hey, she's doing what everyone else is doing, right? Giving her commentary. Y'all let me know what y'all think about what we talked about. Luis getting a payment extension and then getting $250,000 out. That's what I wanted to ask y'all. When it said, there's something that was said in here. It said the lender is lending to borrower an additional loan in the principal sum of $250,000 and borrower. And I'm talking about Dolores saying rememberable. and borrower has executed and delivered to lender a mortgage note for the principal sum of $250,500. So does that mean that they took out a second mortgage on the house for $250,500? Because if it's a mortgage note, that's what I'm thinking, right? It's they didn't do a refinance and take cash out of the home. They took out a second mortgage, it seems like. Y'all let me know, but y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Teresa, it just seems like, I'm gonna be honest, if they had taken out a second loan that could cover all their debt, even though it's like, oh, you're getting in debt to get out of debt, you'll still have to pay that debt. At least let's pay that and then get a jump on paying this and not run any more up. But like, what is the 250,000 going to do when you owe so much? That's like owing $150,000 in credit card debt, but you take a $25,000 loan. I mean, maybe you need it. I'm not one to judge, but I'm just saying it seems like just getting into more debt, and it's not even going to cover the debt that you're already in. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about what Andy had to say about Garcelle and what Dorit said about Sutton buying Garcelle's friendship. And let me know what y'all think about Marvin Sapp. Now that he has added context to the clip, let me know, does that change your initial thought of it? I will be back later because I have some more stuff I want to talk to y'all about. See ya. I'm about to go make my not my bake. I'm about to go boil me a potato and chicken broth. So good.